I am Professor Russo, and this is a short introduction to Biology 274 Microbiology, the Eagle course site. You are probably very familiar with Eagle and have used it for other classes, but I thought I would just go through how I have organized my course site for Biology 274 because every instructor organizes it a little bit differently. So when you open up Eagle, you would go to your dashboard and you would click on Biology 274, your section, of course. And when you open it up, this is what you will see on the home page. So this is just a picture of the home page. I have organized my course site in modules. First module has the course information, then it goes by weeks. So information for week 1, week 2, week 3, and so on. And if you don't see anything under the module, you just need to click on the little arrow and that will open up all the resources for that week. And so what I did here for week 3 is I clicked on that little arrow and it opened up all the resources for that week 3. Also, just to notice on the far right side, the to-do, this lists the upcoming assignments so that you don't forget to do any of those. If you open up that first module, the course information module, this is what you will see under it. And here I have a document with the Bio 274 schedule. This gives you a schedule of what we are doing week by week. So it gives you the lecture schedule and the lab schedule and the exam schedule. Then under that, I have the 274 syllabus. So this gives you all the objectives and outline and policies of the class. After that, I have a document on class information. This gives you a little bit more detailed information on the class policies and the assignments. And then I have an assignment summary, which is a table which goes through just briefly the different types of assignments and where they are and how long they are open. After that, basic biology concepts. This is a list of concepts that you should be very familiar with when you come into this class, because this is actually an advanced biology class, not an introductory biology class. So we do expect that you have a good understanding of basic biology concepts, and those are outlined in that document. Then this is an important document, microbes to memorize. This is a list of different microbes, their scientific name, and what diseases they are associated with, and you need to memorize these because you will have to match the scientific name to the disease it causes on every exam. So that is a portion of every regular exam. Then there's a document, just some notes, some hints on how best to study for micro. And then the last thing is a link to a helpful video on studying. It's 2 videos, one on how to study and another one on procrastination, and it's in general, not just for microbiology, but they're very quick videos and they have a lot of good tips in them. This is an example of what you will see in these weekly modules. And so what I did is I opened up this week 1. And during week 1, the very first week of the semester, we are going to cover 2 chapters in lecture. So chapter 1 and also chapter 4, but only half of chapter 4, the half that goes over the prokaryotic cells. But for every chapter that we're going to cover, I have several resources. So I'll always have a video. So there is a lecture video that you can look at. It covers information that you will need to know, need to learn. I also have posted the PowerPoint document. So this is something you can print out and use to take notes on if you so desire. Also, there is the exam study guide. Every chapter has an exam study guide. This is a list of about 10 to 20 objectives for every chapter. And these are the things that I expect you to learn from the chapter. So these are the things that you're going to be tested on in the exams. So it's very important that you print these out, you look at them, and you are able to answer these questions for the exams. Then for every chapter, there is a chapter quiz. So that is an online Eagle quiz that I'll talk about later. And also I have helpful videos. And these are helpful videos, just other people's videos that cover a lot of the same topics, but I'm not going to test you on that material directly. That's just if you want to hear somebody else discussing those topics. So for every chapter, you will have the video, the PowerPoint, the exam study guide, a link to the quiz, and helpful videos. Further down in the module, you will see information on the labs that we are doing for that week. And also for this first week of class, we are going to be doing 2 labs. Lab 1, which is on ubiquity, and Lab 2, which is on the streak plate. So for every lab that we are doing each week, I will have the lab report. This is the written report. It gives a background, protocol, and it has questions that you will need to answer. For most labs, there is a video. So you can also look at a video. It gives you the same information. Then there is a link to the pre-quiz. This needs to be completed before we start doing the lab. And then there's also a link to the lab questions. And this is sort of the lab report that you are submitting after the lab has been completed. So for Lab 1, you have the lab report, a video, you have a link to the pre-quiz, and a link to the questions. For Lab 2, you have the same types of information. You have the lab report, a video, the link to the pre-quiz, and to the questions. Now I want to go through a brief summary of the different types of assignments that you are going to have in this class. And this is actually a document in the course information, and it is called assignment summary, I think. All right, so this is a table, and it basically gives you the name of the assignment, a brief description, when it is available, when it is due, and then the percent of the grade, your final grade that it is worth. So the first one are pre-lab quizzes, and these are quizzes on Eagle. And these are over the information from the lab reports and the lab videos that we are going to do. And so these pre-lab quizzes are due before we before we perform the lab. So they're usually open on Friday. They close Monday night at about 11:55 p.m. And then this is for the lab. We will start on that following Tuesday. So pre-lab, you need to get these done before we do the lab. And so this is weekly. Pretty much weekly, and again, they are due Monday nights right before midnight. The next type of assignment are video lecture quizzes, and these are quizzes that are on the videos for the lectures, and these are in-class quizzes. So they are in class, and it covers information from the video lecture. And in general, these quizzes will be given on Tuesdays and during the first 5 minutes of class. So you will have 5 minutes to do these quizzes. They usually consist of 10 multiple choice questions, and any notes you have taken on the video lecture you can use on the quiz. And these quizzes are usually the Tuesday when we start the lecture. So if I'm going to start lecturing on chapter 13, you need to watch the video lecture first, and then that morning before I start chapter 13, you're going to have a quiz on chapter 13. But you get to use any notes that you took during the video lecture. So this is my way to encourage you to come to class prepared and that you've already gone through the lecture. So this is weekly for the most part, and they are on Tuesdays in class. The next type of assignment are study guide quizzes. So I mentioned the study guides. Every chapter has a study guide, and it's a list of objectives like compare and contrast or describe, define, that sort of thing. These are in-class quizzes. So you're going to take them from the quizzes, and the information is from the video lectures and in-class lectures. And these are usually on Thursdays and during the first 5 minutes of class. And these are usually short answer questions, and no notes are allowed for the study guide quizzes. And these tend to be weekly, and again, Thursdays in class. The next type of assignment are chapter questions. And chapter questions, these are questions about that particular chapter that we've covered that week. And these are in Eagle, so they are quizzes on Eagle. And again, it covers information from the video lectures and in-class lectures. And these are open for a week from Sunday to Sunday. So if we are covering chapter 13 one particular week, the quiz will open the Sunday before I start lecturing, and it will close the Sunday after. And so these are pretty much due weekly, and they are due Sunday night. The next type of assignment are lab questions. And lab questions, this is an Eagle quiz. It's on Eagle. And this is information from the lab reports and from the lab exercises we do in class and the results that you see. And these are a set of questions. The questions are something that you can go into and out of, so you can start the quiz and come back. You close it at night, one night, and go back the next day, but don't submit. Once you submit, you can't change your answers. So you will have a week. Again, these are open Sunday to Sunday. During the week, we are doing the lab, so you can go in, look at the questions, and you can go back and forth, change your answers until you hit submit. And these are due Sunday night before midnight. All right, so these are pretty much the weekly assignments. You have these every week. Then special assignments that are once in a while, lab practicals. These are the lab exams, and these are in class, and this covers information from the lab reports and the results. And you will have 2 lab practicals, and they will be on the due date on the syllabus. Exams, lecture exams, you will have 4 lecture exams, and they cover information from, it shouldn't be lab, from the lectures. And it can cover some information from lab because there is a lot of crossover. But these are in-class exams, and you need to check the syllabus for those dates. Unknown report, I'll talk about the unknown report a lot. This is a report that you will write. During the semester, you will be given a sample of unknown bacteria, and you will perform experiments on it to identify what the type of bacteria that actually is. So that's going to be a written paper, and you will submit that on Eagle. And it will be open, that site will be open for about 2 weeks, and you need to check the syllabus for the actual due date. And the last thing is the final exam. This is an in-class exam. And it is over the lecture material, mainly the lecture material. And this will be on final exam week, and you need to check for the actual date. There are a lot of assignments in this class, and it's very important that you don't lose track of the assignments and what is due and when it's due. So one of the things you can do on this home page is you can click on assignments, and when you click on assignments, you can choose to show by date or to show by type. If you show by date, it tells you the upcoming assignments. So it lists them by the assignment that is going to come up due first, and then later dates. If you prefer, you can click on show by type, and this lists the assignments by type. So now you have modules, you have all the pre-lab quizzes, you have the video lecture quizzes, the study guide quizzes, chapter questions. And if you click on the arrow, that will open them up, and then it lists them by which ones are due first. Another way to keep track of all the assignments for the class is to look at your calendar. So when you open up Eagle on the left-hand side, you can select calendar, and it will bring up your calendar. And for your calendar, you can select what classes are being shown. So hopefully you will select microbiology to show those dates, because I've uploaded all your assignments onto the calendar. So in general, we're going to fall into a pretty typical pattern for every week. So remember, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, this is when we have class. So pretty much all of those assignments are due in class. So I've added those assignments to the calendar, even though they're not on Eagle. On Sundays is when you have a lot of Eagle assignments due. These would be the chapter quizzes and also the lab questions. And Monday, this is when your pre-lab quiz is due. And that pretty much falls into that pattern for most of the weeks. So a typical week, so let's say for this typical week, this is the end of August, August 31st to September 2nd. Those are the 2 days we are going to meet in class. And during that week, I'm going to lecture on chapter 13. So I'm lecturing on chapter 13. So you will need to be prepared for taking a quiz on the video lecture chapter 13. So right away at the beginning of class on Tuesday, right away at the first 5 minutes, you're going to have a quiz on the video lecture on chapter 13, but any notes you have taken on the video lecture you can use on the quiz. So that prepares you for my actual lecture that I will have. And then on Thursday, you will have an in-person quiz from the study guide for Chapter 13. And that will be that list of objectives. Prepare for one of those because that will be a short answer quiz. All right, so that's for lecture. And then for lab, for this week, lab is lab number 5. So we will be doing lab number 5. So you need to have taken the pre-lab quiz for lab 5 before class starts. So that's how you prepare for class. Then once class is completed, the Sunday after that week, you will have your Chapter 13 quiz that you will need to complete by Sunday, and also your lab 5 questions that you need to complete by Sunday. But if you complete them earlier on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, that's fine. But most weeks will fall into this pattern where you need to take a pre-lab quiz by Monday. Also prepare for an in-class quiz on the chapter we're covering. Then on Thursday, take a study guide quiz on the chapter that I've been lecturing on. And then that following Sunday, do your Chapter 13 quiz and your lab 5 or your lab questions. And also on this calendar, I've also put in all the exams. I've put in your lecture exams, your lab practicals, your unknown report, and also your final exam. So all your assignments should be here.